Hello everyone, welcome back to Atreyu Crochet. So do you have a hat or beanie that you'd like to add a rib to? Well, if so, keep watching because in today's video I'm going to show you how to do exactly that. Things you will need: some yarn. This hat was made with a medium 4 yarn, so I'm using a medium 4 yarn for the brim. It calls for a size I9 5.5 millimeter hook. That's US. So I'm going to have my hook. I'm going to need 1 or 2 stitch markers, okay? And then you'll need a darning, weaving, tapestry needle, and then obviously some scissors. Let's get this tutorial completed. So in reality, you can start, since you're adding yarn to the hat, you can start anywhere you want to along the rim of the hat. I'm going to start at the back. How do I know where the back is? Well, you've seen my videos, you know that I like to leave a tail, which serves as my tag, which identifies very easily the back. Okay? So I'm going to now grab my yarn, the yarn that I'm going to be creating the ribbed brim with, and then I'm just going to hook it on and pull through like that. And then I'm going to tie a couple of knots. 1, 2. Once the brim is made, we can weave this tail in, and you can make it a little bit longer if you want. Okay? Alright, so now, right in there where we just tied those couple of knots, we're going to go in, we're going to yarn over, pull through to the front like this, and then we're going to chain 15. If you want your brim to be thicker, you can chain more, but 15 works well for me. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Alright, so those are my 15 chains. Now I'm going to crochet a single crochet into the second chain from the hook. Here's the hook, here's the first chain from the hook, here's the second chain from the hook. Just go right into the second one, yarn over, pull all the way through. You're going to have 2 loops, 1, 2, yarn over, and go through 2. 1, 2. And now we're going to continue putting 1 single crochet in each of the chains. So I'll see you once I get back down. Alright, and in this final chain I'm putting my 14th single crochet. Now I'm going to grab a stitch marker and I'm going to put it into that chain. Into that single crochet. Alright, so every time I get back down to this rim, I want to see, okay, what was the last stitch that I crocheted into or have come out of? It was this one. Whenever I get back down to the rim, I also want to slip stitch into the next 2. So if I've already utilized this stitch, then the next 2 is this one and also that one. So that's what I'm going to do. So skip the utilized one, go into the next one, slice the icing off the top of the cake, yarn over, and pull all the way through. That's 1. And then I'm going to go into the next one, slip stitch as well, and that's 2. Alright. Now I'm going to chain 1. Alright, I'm going to turn my work, and I'm going to immediately find the stitch marker that I placed, and in that back loop, the stitch marker is on it, I'm going to put a single crochet like that. As soon as I make that single crochet, I want to take the stitch marker out and put it on the newly created single crochet. That's always going to tell me what the first and last stitch of this row is. Okay, and then from here on out I'm going to crochet single crochets into the back loop of all the stitches. So go into the back loop, single crochet, go into the back loop, single crochet, go into the back loop, single crochet. Okay, so we're going to keep doing this all the way till we get to that final stitch. I'll meet you there. I'm now at the final stitch. Be sure to give yourself the aerial view so you can clearly identify the top and go in that back loop and make your single crochet. Now we're going to chain 1 in the back loop right there, that's where we're going to put the single crochet. So turn our work. Alright, it's marked, so you see I go right in there, and that's where I start my single crochets, and then I just make my way back down, putting one single crochet in the back loop. So I'm splitting that top, going into the back loop. Keep going, and I will meet you once we get to the stitch marker. I'm at the stitch marker. I put my 14 single crochet in the back loop of that stitch. I immediately take the stitch marker out and I put it in the newly created single crochet. That's going to tell me where I'm going to start my ascent. Okay, I'm back down to the rim of the hat. Remember, you always want to say, okay, what was the last stitch I crocheted into? It was here. So that's done, and I need to slip stitch into the next 2 stitches. That'd be this one, and then the next one there, 2. Okay, whenever you come back down to the rim of the hat, you're always going to slip stitch into the next 2. By the time you get all the way around, you may have 1 or 2 stitches left. If you only have 1 stitch left, then just slip stitch into that 1 stitch. If you have 2 stitches left, then slip stitch into the 2 stitches, and then we'll take it from there. Okay, so now I'll chain 1, and then you guys have already seen this part. I'm going to turn my work, and I immediately look for the stitch marker. It's right on that back loop already, so I just make my single crochet in there, and then I immediately stop, take the stitch marker out, and put it on the newly created single crochet. Okay, and then I just continue with the process. Okay, going up and down, all the way around the rim of the hat. I'll meet you once I get back around. Okay, so I am almost back around. I'm about to put my single crochet into the 14th stitch, and I'll take this stitch marker out, and I no longer need to replace it because I'm done. I've made my final descent down to the rim of the hat. So if you do this correctly, you should end up with 1 more stitch left, which is this one. Okay, you see I used that one. Remember, always ask yourself, what was the last stitch you slip stitched into? And it was that one, and then I'm left with 1 stitch. As I told you before, if you have 2 stitches left, it's not a big deal. You don't need to be legalistic. Just slip stitch into the final 2 stitches instead of just into this final one. Okay, so I'm going to slip stitch into that stitch like that. Alright, so now I have my yarn back down to the rim. I'm going to rotate this like this. I'm going to make sure my yarn is to the back. Okay, and now you guys, I am going to connect these 2 edges. On this side we have the row of single crochet, a final row that we just made, and we're going to crochet into the front loop. Okay, so here's the complete top there. We're going to crochet into the front loop, and then we're going to find the corresponding single crochet on the other side. So here are the single crochets, right? And then you see these loops on top. Those are the chains that we crocheted into when we first started making this brim. So I'm going to go into the front loop of the top of the stitch on this side. Then I'm going to find the corresponding body, go up, and then grab that loop. And then I'm going to slip stitch. And I'm going to do this all the way down. Okay, that's how we're going to do this. So take this, keep the yarn to the back, go through the front loop like that, and then, as I said, find the single crochet and then grab that loop over there. I can take this stitch marker out now, or sorry, the darning weaving tapestry needle, and then from the back, yarn over and pull all the way through the slip stitch. And then I'm just going to repeat that process all the way down. So here's the next one. Here's the complete top. Get the front loop. Over here, find the next stitch, go up and grab that loop, which is the chain, and then slip stitch. One more time I'll show you. And then we'll speed it up. Grab the front loop only on that side. Find the corresponding single crochet on that side. Go up and grab the chain. Just there. The loop of the chain, and then yarn over, pull all the way through. Without spinning your yarn. Alright, let's speed this up. I'll just say make sure you keep this lined up so that you don't create any accidental buckling. Okay. Alright, that's it. Now we chain one. We'll cut our yarn and then fasten off. Grab your darning weaving tapestry needle. Feed the yarn through the eye of the needle. Alright, and then fold this in half like this, and then we'll just go through some stitches to weave in this tail. Okay, and then pull, grab here so you don't distort your work, and then yeah, pull. And then once again you can leave a little tail. We already have a tail here. Actually, since there are two tails, I'm going to tie a knot. I always say where two or more gathered, right? If you know, you know. Alright, and then so that's that. I'm not going to pull it tight because if I pull it tight it'll bunch. So I'll just keep it like that and then tie another tail or tie another knot. Okay. Alright, I'll tie one more. And then I'll cut these down. Alright, so that's that. This will always mark where the back of my hat is. Okay. So this is what you have. And this, you guys, is how you add a ribbed brim to any hat. So maybe you initially make a hat that does not contain a brim. Maybe you made this, but then you're like, it's winter time, I really want a brim. Or I really want to change the look and add a different color. How do I do that? Well, this video will tell you how to do that, okay? And then, yeah, you can fold this up like that. Fold it over. And now you have what looks like a brand new hat. Isn't that really cool? Okay. If you want to learn how to add a pom-pom to this hat, then check out this video.